I think this is one of the main reasons why I know when I talk to a lot of people about these streaming services, they always talk about how they want to wait till all the episodes drop. Because I told you guys in a previous video that I heard how good this was, but I'm not into that gangster, crime lord, drug running. Uh, I'm just not into that kind of stuff. That underworld crime stuff, man. And you know, this family's against this family, and this family's just. I'm just not into it. But whew, man, I decided to watch this last night, and I never finished episode 2, which was the Inside Man. I did, you know, finish episode 1, but episode 2, I finished it, and I was just watching this thing, and I ain't gonna lie, they're killing it. Because I like, I'm quite sure I'm not the only one that does that, but I was watching all the little details that they was doing in this movie. Oz is a trip. Uh, the Penguin Man, he's a trip. He's a trip. He he. I tell you what, man. Colin Farrell, man, he's nailing this thing. But Sophia, that's a bad chick, man. That chick is bad. That girl that's playing Sophia, man, she has got this character nailed down, man. She's deadly. But uh yeah, there was just parts in this movie. I was like, dang, man, how I don't I as good as this is, I just was like, man, I'd rather be poor. I wouldn't want to have no part of that kind of crap. I know there's a lot of money in there and all that, but that looking over your shoulder and all that shooting and all that stuff, man, and putting drugs out on the street and all that kind of stuff, and it just ain't for me. But damn, I see why a lot of people like this show. But I finished episode 2, so it was Saturday night, so I decided to go ahead and finish the rest of it. So uh, this one here was a trip too, because this kid right here, man, he had a chance to leave. He didn't think that Oz was gonna let him go. He's trying to tell that girl, man. He says, "No, I'm working for Oz," because he give her some money, and she said, "Well, come with me," And as far as I'm concerned, man, he made a poor choice, man, because he decided to stay with Oz, and I don't think that's a. We'll see how it turns out for him, but he should have left with that chick. But then I don't know, man. He ended up changing his mind, and Oz gave him like $1,000. I think it was $1,000 or something like that. That's a lot of money, but he's gonna be mixed up in. There were some things that he's seeing as a young man that just, he had to, in episode 2, he messed up, and Oz had to do some quick thinking to get himself finagled out of that thing. And Oz is this Oz is something else. But Sophia, she looked like she gonna be deadly, man. But anyway, this kid right here, he ended up burying, there was 2 bodies he had to bury, and Oz was getting on him because he was telling him that, dude. He said, you messed up. And he said I had to do some quick thinking, and he said these two right here shouldn't even be in this grave. It should be somebody else, and it was. 2 people got killed because this kid right here screwed up, but really he's just young and inexperienced. Don't know what he's doing, but I like where it's going. Don't get me wrong, but then he makes this decision to stay with Oz, man. But then he did get Oz out of a bad situation, because him and Sophia was about to get taken out. But he ended up driving that car back and disrupting everything. And then but when they got rolled up, when those people rolled up on him, this other family, then Sophia right here found out that Oz right here killed her brother. And then she already had an uneasy feeling about Oz, but all of it in Blitz came out. And her facial expression, man, said it all. But she said she said the whole time I should have listened to my, my gut instinct, and she should have, but she didn't. But man, this right here, Centennial, I think is Centennial, Cent or something, uh, confronting the events that turned her into the Hangman. This is a great episode. At first, I wasn't into it, and then I was like, man, it was showing you how this woman. I hope she takes this to another level because there's so many layers in this world that they're trying to build. I like to see a separate story just with her, but they're gonna blend it together. But just this episode alone is 58 minutes and 13 seconds. As you see, they're all the first one's an hour, and another one's under an hour, and this one's barely under an hour, and this one's barely under an hour. But her own dad turned against her, but Oz is the one that snitched on her. So all this stuff is just being tied in together. And, you know, after I watched this last night, I had to go to bed and I had to get some sleep, because I got a sleep pattern I like to stay on. But man, after watching all this, I said to myself, I should not have got Max until, probably the end of November. That way I can binge watch all of them because I wanted to watch more because it just got me going. Now, this is not my type. I'm not into these types of shows at all. But I must say that I am going to finish it because this is just, I mean, my Lord, wow, man, Max. I tell you what, like I said before, Max, if they did this right, they could do the Joker, they could do the Riddler, they could do the guy that had his face burn off. They could character develop all these people, but I guess now they're gonna try to make movies to tie in some of these. But I don't know, man. This is some, but Max, HBO Max always been a good company that writes compelling stories. But Sophia, man, when she realized it shows what she went through, but then it show. I mean, she went through some stuff. It's why she is so. I'm gonna say a cold-hearted chick because they actually turned her into a cold-hearted chick. Because actually, she wasn't a cold-hearted chick. She was just a young girl, and her brother and their dad is this mafia dude, kind of like. And then she remembers her mom being hung, and then she remembers when she's a little kid. You ever been a little kid and you remember specific things? Well, she remembers her mom had scratch marks on her hand, like she'd been fighting somebody off. But then in this episode, there was like, I think 8 women that got killed the same way, and they hung themselves. And then she started putting two together. She asked her dad when she, before they sent her off to, Arkham Asylum. And he said, why are you asking me these questions, And then he got mad, and then he set her up because Knucklehead up here, Oz right here, he snitched on her and told her that she was talking to a reporter. So her dad made her look like a fall guy and had her own daughter sent off to Arkham Asylum, and he let them run all kind of tests on her and all this kind of stuff. But this episode right here, she was like, I knew when she walked in that room when she stood up and she had that little, I said, what is she up to? Because I knew she wasn't going to let them all off like that because she told them that all you guys never came there when I was there. Every one of you, because every one of you signed affidavits saying that I was cuckoo in the head and stuff. Because actually there was nothing really wrong with her. It's just that her dad did not want her snooping into her while her mom hung themselves because her dad actually killed her mom and these other women. But this episode here, I ain't even going to tell you what happened in this episode, but she was pretty slick. So now we're seeing the development of how she is, and we damn sure see the development of the Penguin, because that Penguin is just, that man's all about his damn self. He's a survivalist, man. Like he said, you got to learn how to adapt. Well, he learned how to adapt. Because, I mean, this dude is something else, man. But I think Sophia, man, I'm loving her character, man. I really am, man. So anyway, y'all, that's all I got. God bless. Take care. Have a great week.